Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some fascinating research that's honestly going to radically shift how you understand your cat. We're peeling back the layers on a dynamic that affects millions of pet owners, focusing on the hidden feelings and the totally silent signals our cats are sending us every single day. If you think you know exactly what your cat is feeling right now, you might want to brace yourself, because the reality is fundamentally different from what we usually perceive.
So ask yourself this: what if your cat secretly hates something you do every single day? You'd absolutely want to know, right? The tricky part is, we aren't talking about obvious glaring mistakes here. We're talking about things that feel loving, things that seem totally normal to us as humans, daily routines that you wouldn't even think twice about.
Think about it. When we humans get frustrated, we usually get loud, right? We vocalize our discomfort. But cats? They don't whine or complain like we do. Their reaction is a silent, quiet withdrawal. They literally just pull away. And because they retreat so quietly, most of us completely miss the warning signs of what pushed them away in the first place.
Okay, let's dive right into the first major area of miscommunication: sensory and territory invasions. We're going to look at how our perfectly relaxing home can actually feel like a toxic war zone to them. To get why, we need to look at this massive number: 200 million. That is how many scent receptors your cat has packed into their little nose. For context, we humans only have about 5 million. So, you know that vanilla or lavender candle you light every evening to unwind? To you, it's a subtle, relaxing vibe. But to your cat, it's like being locked inside a closet full of open perfume bottles with absolutely no way out. It is completely overwhelming and pretty much suffocating to them.
And actually, it goes way beyond just a strong smell. It's basic biology. Cats are missing a specific liver enzyme called glucuronidyltransferase. I was stunned to learn this, but because they lack this enzyme, it's physically impossible for them to break down certain compounds found in common essential oils, stuff like tea tree, eucalyptus, and peppermint. Diffusing these in your home can lead to real respiratory distress and even severe liver damage. And going back to that silent withdrawal, your cat won't cough or cry out. They'll just quietly leave the room, and you'd probably never even connect the dots that your relaxation ritual is causing them physical harm.
Now, moving on to another huge invisible stressor: territory. A 2017 study from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior showed that resource competition is actually a leading cause of chronic stress in multi-cat homes. We tend to just assume, cats will figure it out on their own. You bring a new cat in, share the same food bowl, same water fountain, and expect one big happy family. But cats are solitary survivors by nature. Forcing them to share basic resources creates this silent, low-level territorial war. One cat might just stop eating or hide under the bed for hours on end to avoid the conflict.
The good news is the fix is super straightforward. We just have to actively do it. Step 1, you need 1 litter box per cat plus 1 extra. Step 2, set up totally separate feeding stations so they don't have to compete. And step 3, add elevated resting spots. Vertical space matters so much because, in a cat's mind, height literally equals safety. You don't need a bigger house, you just need to stop making them compete for their basic needs.
All right, let's shift gears to part 2, misreading body language. This is where things like belly rubs and eye contact might actually be breaking your cat's trust.
So we've all been there, right? Your cat rolls over, shows you that super fluffy belly, and you immediately go in for the rub, and bam! It's a trap. They're biting and kicking your hand. Why does that happen? Well, when a cat exposes their belly, their internal monologue is basically saying, I feel safe enough around you right now to show you the most vulnerable part of my body. In the wild, exposing the belly, where all the vital organs are, means certain death. So doing it on your living room rug is a declaration of ultimate trust. It is absolutely not a request for a belly massage.
The second you reach in and touch that belly, you're violating the exact trust they were trying to show you. And science totally backs this up. A study out of the University of Lincoln confirmed that cats highly prefer touches on their cheeks and the base of their ears. Conversely, they show clear agitation when petted on the belly or tail. Just because a cat shows their belly doesn't mean they want it touched. We really just need to let them own that vulnerable moment without turning it into a physical interaction.
And man, this same exact miscommunication happens with eye contact. For us humans, locking eyes is all about love and deep connection. But for a cat, a direct, unbroken stare is perceived as an intense challenge. It's a sign of aggression. It's literally what they do right before a physical fight. So while you're sitting there staring lovingly into your cat's eyes, they're sitting there feeling deeply threatened, thinking something is very, very wrong.
So how do you actually show them love? You have to speak their language. A 2020 study from the University of Sussex proved that a slow blink is essentially a feline smile. Here's how you do it. Step 1, look at them softly. Step 2, slowly close your eyes for a second. And Step 3, open them calmly without any expectation. The researchers found cats are way more likely to approach a person who slow blinks at them. It's their version of a loving gaze.
Let's move on to part 3 and see how this all builds up. We're talking about erasing their mental maps and why simply moving your furniture around feels like deleting their home.
See, cats rely incredibly heavily on spatial memory. They don't experience a home the way we do, just seeing rooms and furniture. They build these highly detailed mental blueprints. Every object, every corner, every scent marker serves a purpose to make absolutely sure their environment is safe and predictable. It's like a giant, invisible grid of safety to them.
So when your cat rubs their little face on the edge of the couch, they aren't just being cute. They're leaving invisible markers that say, "This is mine, this is safe." If you suddenly move that couch across the room or relocate their litter box, you aren't just redecorating, you are literally erasing their map. And a cat without a map feels like a cat without a home, which triggers immense stress responses, like hiding, refusing to eat, or peeing outside the box. If you absolutely have to make changes, you've got to do it gradually.
Which brings us to part 4, and honestly, the emotional climax of this whole explainer. The ultimate feline betrayal and why your cat's silence might just be your biggest failure.
This specific finding from the source material absolutely blew my mind. Adult cats do not meow at each other. They just don't do it. Meowing is a language that cats developed specifically and solely to communicate with humans. Your cat literally invented a vocal way to talk to you. Every single chirp, trill, and meow is your cat deliberately choosing to try and reach you.
And they know exactly who they're talking to, by the way. Research from Sophia University in Tokyo found that cats easily recognize their owner's voice and distinguish it from a stranger's. They aren't just making noises into the void. They know it's you, and they are listening for you. The heartbreaking question is, are you listening back?
A lot of times, we're just scrolling on our phones, harmlessly distracted, not thinking anything of it. But the cat's reality, when you talk over them or ignore them, they don't get louder. They don't try harder. They just give up, stop the meows, and quietly pull away. And this right here is the common thread tying everything together today. The overwhelming candles, the territory battles, the misread belly rubs, the erased mental maps. Your cat didn't complain. They just slowly, quietly created distance. It all boils down to this really powerful thought. A cat who keeps talking to you is a cat who still believes you're listening. When they meow, you need to respond. When they follow you, acknowledge them. You don't have to literally understand what they're saying, you just need to show up and keep that belief alive. That connection is not something you ever want to lose.
Think about it. They invented an entire language just to bridge the gap between their world and yours. So, will you start listening before they go completely quiet? And more importantly, what other silent signals might you be missing every single day? To find out, keep observing, give your cat a slow blink for me, and I will catch you in the next explainer.